Hey guys, let's get into the energy for our first weekend in the month of November 2023. We've got some interesting things playing out this weekend. It could honestly be sort of a weird weekend. The vibes are a little bit all over the place, but there is likely to be a bit of an elevated level, perhaps of some tension, some frustration building, maybe some hostility or aggression, some internalized or maybe externalized conflicts going on. We are in a weekend of square aspects that are being brought to us primarily by the moon's placement transiting through the end of Cancer and then through the degrees of Leo. This is going to put us actually back into the crosshairs of this grand cardinal cross that we have been dealing with cyclically throughout the course of the past couple of months. Moon opposite Pluto and square the nodes. So we're going to be dealing with that on Friday. And by the time we get to the energy on Sunday, the moon in Leo will be squaring the sun, squaring Mars, squaring Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter. So we've got a lot of squares going on. Squares are 90-degree aspects. Squares bring up conflict. However, it's very interesting because the aspects themselves, especially on Saturday coming through, are kind of actually providing some random remedies or, some resolutions to issues that we may not have seen coming, some sudden turning points or plot twists, an unexpected, brilliant idea or solution hitting us out of nowhere and really changing the game somehow. Now, we also have Saturn stationing direct on Saturday this weekend, which is going to put a very strong emphasis on all of the Saturnian themes that we will be talking about in this report as well. And we just generally have a lot going on as we're getting this month of November kicked off. So let's get into it, you guys. Let's look at and talk about some of this energy we have coming through in some more detail. What are things looking like for us on the ground as we begin our month of November? Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're going to talk about the energy of Friday, November 3rd through Sunday, November 5th, and all that we have playing out on an energetic level, closing out sort of like this bridge week between October and November, and setting us up for our first true week of November energy coming in next week, which is next week is going to be a really big week. If you guys caught my November overview, and you know that this month of November is going to be quite like a journey. I feel like in a lot of ways there's going to be a lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of unexpected maybe detours, but at the end of it we are going to have learned a lot, and it is going to have been probably quite a transformative and awakening experience. Okay, so I recommend watching that November overview just to sort of get primed for what is perhaps to come over these coming weeks. So let's zero in on this energy that we have coming in to start our week on Friday. First of all, like I said, it is probably a weird weekend. We've got an exact Mercury Uranus opposition going on this weekend. Uranus ruling, everything strange and unusual, and Mercury being the messenger planet, and who we're talking to and what we're talking about and where we're going, and just the nature of the interactive experiences with others and the thoughts going through our mind and stuff. On one hand, we really could be seeking perhaps some freedom from anything mundane, looking for some excitement, trying to be re-inspired somehow. Uranus can do that as well, but it can also bring these brilliant ideas. Mercury is the mind, right? And Uranus, this is also the future. This is like flashes of insight. This is can be almost a prophetic energy. So pay attention to the sudden thoughts that may just appear in your mind this weekend, because they could have some type of significance, especially perhaps in terms of some type of solution or remedy that needs to be implemented to solve some type of problem at this period of time to help us move forward somehow. We're definitely, as I said in my intro, this is not a weekend where everything is just sort of happening effortlessly around us. There is a lot of sort of resistance. There could be some blockages, some frustration, either, internalized or legitimately going on, things or people or situations just feeling like they're sort of working against us in the energy as it's coming through. But we do have this, on one hand, very expanded perception into things with the Jupiter Sun influence, and then with Mercury Uranus, this is suddenly getting it, suddenly figuring something out that maybe we hadn't been able to see before or hadn't made sense for some reason. And we also have an exact Venus-Neptune opposition going on this weekend as well, which adds this divinely inspired, creative, and artistic component to things. There's a hugely artistic, creative, ability to translate sort of like the ethereal planes into the physical dimension of things coming through this weekend as well. It really is kind of all over the place. We've got a lot of conflict oriented stuff going on, but we've also got a lot of very creation based, innovative, future oriented stuff going on as well. So things could be coming together in some just kind of like unusual ways this weekend. Friday, as I said, we are back in the energy of this grand cardinal cross that has been playing out with Pluto and the nodes of the moon ever since essentially our new moon and Cancer cycle that happened over the summer, when the moon has been transiting the later degrees of Cancer, opposing Pluto and squaring the nodes. It has been sort of putting us in this kind of like critical, more crisis-oriented window each month where some things could be likely to happen. And this actually translated last month into all of the stuff that happened in the Israeli-Palestine situation that went on October 7th. That was the direct hit of this energy last month. Now, this month, actually, as we have this transit playing out again, therefore it could be in some ways re-triggering or reactivating or emphasizing what happened around the 7th of October last month. However, because of the other transits involved, we are likely to be gaining some greater insight or seeing things in a new light, or there could be something like coming out or some type of unexpected turn of events somehow that is just like altering the way that we are experiencing the energy this month in relation to things that happened in this energy last month, if you're following me, if that makes sense. So that's our energy for Friday, okay? And we're going to talk more about it, but then as we move through the weekend and move into the energy for Saturday, Saturday is really like our big activation day of the weekend, because Saturday is the day where we will have Saturn station direct. This is going to be a huge energetic moment, sort of. Whenever a planet stations in the sky, it amplifies the energy of that planet and puts a really big emphasis on that planet. So there is a very strong, dominant Saturnian vibe that we have going on all weekend, primarily though in the energy on Saturday. And then on Sunday, of course, like I said in my intro, the moon will, be transiting through the sign of Leo and will square all of this fixed sign energy that we've had playing out in these oppositions and all these fixed sign planets, both in Taurus and in Scorpio. So we're looking at moon and square to sun, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus. So again, Saturday or Sunday could be sort of things coming to a head again, and Friday is sort of like things coming to a head. Like I said, it just gives me this feeling of being sort of like caught in the crosshairs of things. However, Saturday, it's like we have this energy coming through that is giving us the solution, giving us the perspective, giving us the like visionary quality to like believe that like better things could be possible, sort of. It's also a very strong manifestation energy, and we also are going to have an excessive amount of like ability to focus and to concentrate and to put some effort into something. Any way that we can appease Saturn in this energy, which is being more like responsibility oriented, which is getting organized, okay, which is having self-discipline, which is having self-control, which is maybe being a bit more like hermit mode and really focusing on getting the job done in some capacity. This is going to pay off this weekend, you guys. Your efforts will be rewarded and you will feel like you will be supported. You will feel supported ultimately in whatever it is that you put effort into this weekend. And again, I keep saying, if you guys have been following me over this past couple of days, I've been talking about how this window period right now that we are in between this last full moon lunar eclipse that we just had and this new moon in Scorpio that's coming up, I don't know that there has like ever recently been a better time to be undergoing like a planning or preparation process for becoming something new or making a major personal change or doing something different. Like this is such a good time for like tying up loose ends, like letting things go, like deciding to make some true personal changes, to reorganize our life in some way, to get things together, just to like get our life together, to figure out who we want to become and what changes we need to make in order to facilitate our process. Anything that we can do along those lines to sort of like close out a previous chapter and prepare to begin a new one come this new moon coming up, that is also going to be very supported, and your efforts are going to pay off if that's how you choose to use this time in a way that's going to be personally productive to some type of personal growth, transformation, revolution going forward. Because come, mid this month, November 13th, when we got this big new moon in Scorpio coming in, like that's the whole vibe coming up for our Scorpio cycle. So using the time from this new or full moon eclipse, which is the release point, which is the end, which is the transition, letting it all go, preparing and planning, putting some work and effort towards what's coming next. That is the most beautiful way, all right, that we're going to be able to use this energy right now. Okay, so now let's go back and let's talk about the energy for Friday, where we do have the reactivation of this Grand Cardinal cross with Pluto and the nodes of the moon. That has really, like I said, been kind of playing a significant role on a monthly basis since specifically around the Cancer cycle, when we had just had the nodes move back into the cardinal signs of Aries and Libra, and actually the sun was in an opposition with Pluto as well. That was a really significant Cancer new moon cycle. But really, ever since then, once a month when the moon has been transiting the sign of Cancer, this has been reactivating that energy. And as I said, last month on the 7th, that was when this exact energy hit off. And last month, I knew it was going to be a big one because of the other energy that we had going on. Now, this month, I don't feel the same way about it. Again, we have the sun opposite Jupiter. This is giving insight. This is actually helping like wisdom and good fortune and more like beneficial, positive experiences to play a more dominant role than we had going on last month when this energy was hitting. It's likely helping things, having Jupiter so involved in the transits going on this month alongside the activation of this cardinal square. Now, also, Pluto has moved forward, the nodes have moved backwards, so there is a greater separation in orb between the degree placements, so it's not as tight either this month as the moon is transiting Cancer. We also, of course, have Mercury and Uranus in an opposition, which is gonna bring solutions, it's gonna bring remedies, and we have Venus, Neptune in opposition as well, which is adding a layer of compassion and empathy. So I do feel like the heat is turned down quite significantly on the Grand Cardinal cross as it is reactivated this month. However, there could still be some things from whatever happened last month around October 7th coming back up in some significant ways. But like with these additional transits, Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, Uranus, Venus, Neptune, it's interesting because it feels to me sort of like this reignition, this weekend kind of, it feels like act 3 in a play, sort of, like when the odds and everything is stacked against the main character and it seems like sudden doom is just looming moments away, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, sudden plot twist, turn of events, creative solution that you never could have thought of takes place, and all of a sudden the day is saved and everything makes sense and everything goes on. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of the energy that I feel like is coming through right now. Some creative solution that you never would have thought of suddenly materializing, manifesting, coming out of left field, out of nowhere, brilliant idea, shocking turn of events that like changes the whole situation somehow. This is what I feel like these sideline transits are bringing to where we are at, in our cyclical nature of events that is playing out right now as a result of how the planets are generally positioned and the moon's transit. I mean, Pluto's a very slow moving planet. The nodes also move slowly. So the moon's had an opportunity to get several cycles, several go-rounds activating this same story that is actually functioning to transition us out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius right now, to, break down some long existing orders and orders of power and control that have been running the show for long periods of time. We're in a very transitional period of time right now, especially in terms of the power structures at large, okay? And so that is what this moon coming through over this past couple of months, hitting Cancer and hitting this Grand Cardinal cross, has been helping to facilitate both the end of on one hand and sort of like the new beginnings of on the other hand. So of course we're back in this energy, but this time around it really is like this like sudden turn of events, like I said, or just like this sudden game-changing things happening that like really switch around the whole scenario somehow. So it'll be interesting to see what comes in this energy. And honestly, like this whole month of November is sort of giving those same vibes, but this weekend we're getting a very like condensed version of this energy. Okay, so we've got all of that, but then on the other hand of things, we also have all of the Saturn energy going on, because Saturn is also stationing direct in the sky. You know, this is putting a huge, tremendous emphasis on the Saturnian energy. On a personal level, you guys, as I've been emphasizing throughout this report, this is a fantastic weekend to implement some type of solution to, you know, really just work on something that is going to benefit us somehow. Your efforts will pay off. You will have good ideas. You will impress people with what you're able to accomplish. This is excellent energy also for like randomly like impressing some type of like boss or higher up or something in some way that leads to some type of reward on your part. Like we have that type of energy at play as well. But, you know, of course, let's talk about the dynamics of Saturn and everything that could be prominent or coming up as a result of the emphasis on the Saturnian energy. Authority figures, first and foremost, bosses, fathers, also judges, rule makers, lawmakers, government, leadership, people in positions of power generally. This is a very like top down emphasis type of energy. Also specifically males and specifically masculine energy being the dominant force right now. Also, this could be restrictions, limitations, judgments, control systems, belief systems that we adhere to or that create the fabric and the framework of our reality. This could also be tradition, legacy, lineage, time, karma. In the past, of course, are associated with Saturn. Teeth, bones, skeletal systems, skeletal structures. This is organization. This is duty. This is responsibility, obligations, work ethic, concentration, right? Saturn really like narrows our focus into things. This is forms, Saturn structures. Saturn solidifies things into like the tangible, material, 3D, physical environment and reality. Great manifestation energy when we got a lot of Saturn going on. Of course, the Lord of Time, the Lord of Karma, focus, concentration. Saturn likes us to work hard, like put our nose to the grindstone, like really get in it in a way that is productive and that will have long-term success. Saturn is also endurance. We have an ability to do things that will carry on long into the future in like a very strong, sturdy, and successful way, especially when we've got the Jupiter element of things going on as well. So, you know, on one hand, this could be bringing like a very like dominance heavy, right? Authoritative, dictatorial, like controlling, rigid, as I said, like top down response to things, like disciplinarian, very much associated with Saturn energy as well. Greater than normal emphasis on the people at the top and perhaps like dishing out some type of punishment. But this is also because of the other stuff going on, and specifically Mercury opposite Uranus, right? And, you know, the Jupiter influence as well. Total things coming out of left field, like literally anything could be happening alongside whatever this Saturn influence is that's also playing out. So, you know, if we take this energy, and of course energy always plays out across like an insane myriad of possibilities and spectrums and octaves and all of that, but when we like take it and apply this energy on a personal level, I actually like really like the energy coming through this weekend, especially in the context of us being in this 2-week window of true, you know, potential for some really important, significant, personal, deep and lasting like self-transformation. That is what the energy is pushing for right now, like I said, moving us into this new moon in Scorpio. But it's like this super innovative energy. It makes me think of like ingenuity and the unexpected option coming through the third act, like I said, like these sudden downloads, sudden plot twists, like these really great ideas that are coming through, random novel things that we, you know, maybe had never even thought of before, but we are just getting a spark that is igniting in our brain and we're like, oh, I never looked at it that way. But now that I am, this really changes everything. I need to go back to the drawing board and maybe adjust, but now like I see the way forward, you know what I mean? And I need to do something that like I need to not do either of the two options I was considering, because now I have this third option that, you know, makes both of those irrelevant but makes so much more sense and like truly is the way forward. That's what we have available to us as well on the side of these 2 days, Friday and Saturday, that are more conflict oriented because of all the squares coming through. So, you know, ideas hitting out of nowhere about what to do, what to create, what to build, how to organize it better, how to be more efficient, how to reduce cost, time, like whatever it is to improve a process. Highly creative energy that is like borderlining on genius, you know what I mean? With the Saturn energy behind it, this is the work ethic, this is the discipline, this is the concentration that allows us to take all of that like, oh my God, like light bulb moment energy and channel it into something real, something productive, something that is affecting change in our physical 3D reality. So, you know, Saturn, hard work, focus, concentration, endurance, self-discipline, manifest things, okay? Sun opposite Jupiter, this is increased energy, this is insight, this is expanded viewpoints, this is success and abundance, and this is rewards and recognition and impressing people. This is Mercury opposite Jupiter, brilliant ideas, sudden insight, unexpected options, flashes of insight, like seeing it, the light bulb moments. And then also Venus exactly opposite Neptune on Saturday, the middle day in between the square sandwich. We've got Mercury exactly opposite Uranus, we've got Saturn stationing direct, we've got Venus exactly opposite Neptune, and then we've got the Sun and Jupiter only 1 degree away from each other. So, you know, and Venus opposite Neptune, again, this is imagination, visualization, highly artistic, highly creative dreams, visions, like translated into manifest things, reality energy, especially with a big Saturn influence, which is that's what Saturn does, helps to ground, helps to form, helps to structure. And one of the reasons why Saturn is about, you know, work ethic and duty and discipline and stuff, it's like because we can't translate we can't form things in this reality without putting like the pedal to the metal and the like hammer behind it, you know what I mean? So the Saturn energy is the energy that comes through that helps us take whatever it is that we are envisioning and to make it happen in the reality. And we can do that this weekend with the very strong Saturn energy that's coming through. So I'm saying, you guys, work on literally anything this weekend. You could, as I mentioned earlier, because of especially the Jupiter Sun influence, you could end up like randomly really impressing somebody in like a position of authority, bosses, higher ups, superiors, with your hard work, with your effort. Somebody could really notice, you know, what you're putting into something. And this is definitely like work equals rewards, hard work paying off type of energy that we have going on right now. Now with the Saturn influence, it may not be instantaneous recognition, but this is like recognition maybe from the things that you've done in the past coming back now in a way that is, you know, receiving some type of reward or something like that. Or it could be that which you're literally just like working on in this energy that is impressing somebody. So that is a thing that we have going on as well. And of course, you know, like I've been saying, we are in a 2-week period right now that is moving towards an energy that is really promoting some type of personal transformation. So anywhere that we can take this energy and apply it like inwards to ourselves in terms of transforming ourselves or working on ourselves or bettering ourselves or, you know, improving our life in some capacity, this energy is definitely going to pay off. So Saturday is the big activation day of the weekend. Saturn direct, the Mercury Uranus opposition, the Venus Neptune opposition, and then Sunday, of course, like I said, the moon will move through the central mid degrees of Leo, begin squaring all of the planets. I actually, perhaps, you know, Sunday may actually be like a more conflict oriented day even than Friday, even though Friday we are back in this Grand Cross Cardinal signs, but it's just because we got all these squares going on, implicating also the sets of oppositions that we've had playing out between Taurus and Scorpio. And this is fixed sign energy. So this is going to be, you know, this is a lot of stubborn energy. This is also a very ego-based energy. We've got a Leo moon going on, squaring Mars, squaring the sun. We're really going to want to try not to let our ego get the best of us on Sunday. You know, this could result in some very hurt feelings, clashes of wills, clashes of willpower, things definitely coming to a head. We do not want to take things personally or really let things get under our skin, you know, and the energy on Sunday. That's really going to be beneficial. And watch what you say as well. Be careful that you're not just letting some things come out of your mouth that you might regret later, because we do have Mercury, you know, Mercury Mars or Mercury Uranus opposition. That's like shocking things coming out of the mouth, and Mars is right there as well with the sun, with all these squares. You know, people could be saying some things perhaps that they maybe don't necessarily think through all the way. So you're going to want to make sure that you're not in that group, and that you are, you know, self-discipline, self-control, not emotionally reacting, honoring Saturn is going to benefit us, okay? We want to make Saturn happy. So, you know, hermit mode could be a good day to maybe practice some of that on Sunday, just getting organized, getting focused again, like I've been repeating this entire report. Useful, practical, work-oriented, like that's what we want to be putting our energy and effort into, not creating conflicts, not creating fights, not allowing yourselves to get all whipped up based on some like ego-based wound, okay? We don't want to be emotionally reactive. We want to keep our focus on the goal, on the bigger picture, and on doing the right thing and getting the job done. And I'm telling you guys, like, that is the best way to get the best results. For best results, that is what we want to do moving through the energy this weekend. And again, if that is how you are using this energy, it is probably going to pay off for you somehow in the future as we move into this new moon cycle that we have coming up in this next couple of weeks. So that's what I have to say, you guys, about the energy as it's coming through this weekend. Should definitely be an interesting weekend. Again, this is probably an unusual weekend. Whenever we got exact Uranus hits activations this particular weekend, in opposition between Mercury and Uranus, the messenger planet, just being in weird places that you're not usually talking to, people that you don't usually talk to, just out of the ordinary things going on, unusual conversations, weird like interpersonal stuff, okay? But also this opportunity for these like mind-changing, life-changing insight, ideas, epiphanies, downloads, like all that stuff. Solutions to problems that have held us back in the past. Universe is gifting us with that in this Sun Jupiter energy. So, okay, let's get a synchronicity card now. What is, oh, well, a bunch flipped over. Don't envy another. Great blessings. Yes. Forget the past. And dream. So I'm not going to read all of these cards. Maybe Jana will post them all in my Facebook group. If you guys don't know, I have a Facebook group where Jana Shellman, who is actually the creator of these synchronicity cards, she posts them in the Facebook group every day in correspondence with these videos. So if you ever want to know, you know, more closely what's on these cards, that's where you can find them. And maybe she will post all of these cards so that you guys can see them. I never really have this many cards come out. I'm not going to read all of them. I'll read the first two. But the cards that we all have come out: Don't Envy Another, Great Blessings, and then we've got the Yes card, in case, you know, that is applicable to you somehow. Forget the Past, and Dream. So actually, these, I could easily tie all of these cards together, all of these little pieces of advice together in the context of the energy that we have going on right now. But I'm just going to read Don't Envy Another and Great Blessings, okay? And then, like I said, if you want to see the rest of them, you can look at my Facebook group, and maybe Jana will post them there for us. Okay, so we have Don't Envy Another. It says, let your conduct be without covetousness, Hebrews 13:5. Remember, you cannot have that which belongs to another. Instead, wish for something very much like what the other has, but never the very thing. For the time, be content with what you have. Perhaps things are not as they appear. I actually love this card. You know, what God does for another, he also does for me and more. I feel like that's a really powerful mantra in the context of any type of jealousy or anything like that that we could be experiencing, which could be a thing with all of this square energy going on and all of this ego-oriented energy on Sunday especially. So there's some really good guidance. And then this other card, it says great blessings for whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10:13. Nothing is more powerful than God. Contact God quietly with faith and confidence and know God is opening a path and solving your problem. With God, nothing is impossible and great blessings will be yours. This totally reminds me, you guys, like I said, of that like Act 3 energy that we have going on, and with the Sun Jupiter influence. Jupiter is a great benefic. Jupiter brings good fortune. Jupiter brings blessings. Jupiter brings, you know, abundance and great blessings that would definitely be associated with the Jupiter vibe and archetype. So even though, you know, we do have this tricky energy going on, we also have this sideline activations going on, which are bringing the solutions, the remedies, and blessings through in the situation. Very silver lining oriented time and month as well. Blessings are going to be coming in disguise throughout the course of the next several weeks. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be into this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I am so grateful for your presence here. Thank you so much for, you know, just being here and being on this journey with me. And I really appreciate knowing what's going on with you, how these activations are impacting you guys. If you're having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about, please let me know in my comment section below, and come back with me next week, you guys. We're going to be getting into our first full week of the month of November. And if you watched my overview, you know I was talking about how, like, specifically, you know, the 11th through the 15th, but also starting, you know, around the 8th. Like, this to me is the most significant energetic window that we have going on the month of November. So moving through the first week and into the second week, things are really about to get interesting. Okay, so I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then. You guys have a beautiful weekend, and until next time, bye.